Welcome to the 39th Cummings School of Veterinary Medicine Doctor of Veterinary Medicine Commencement Ceremony. I am Dr. Alistair Cribb, Dean of Cummings School. Distinguished guests, family and friends of the graduates, faculty and staff of the school, Professor Emeriti, alumni, and most important of all, honored graduating class, welcome. This is a very special event. I'm so glad that we were able to actually gather here in person to celebrate the 96 graduates who are having their DVM degrees conferred today, and that we have members of our faculty and staff present. And thank you to those of you who are joining us remotely today. It means so much to know that you are part of this. To start the formal commencement program, I would like to bring greetings from President Tony Monaco.
Hello everyone, I'm Tony Monaco, the president of Tufts University. I am pleased to recognize and celebrate this year's graduates from the various programs at the Cummings School of Veterinary Medicine at Tufts University. It is great to be joined virtually by so many friends and family members, as well as the faculty and administrators who have mentored our graduates during their time at the Cummings School. Education in the veterinary sciences is one of the cornerstones of our great research university. Today's graduates reflect the breadth and distinction of Tufts programs in this area. A special mention for today's doctoral degree recipients who have demonstrated excellence in scholarship, in teaching, and in the integration of research with practice. We encourage you to continue to stay involved with your departments and the Cummings School as active alumni. You will always have a home here at Tufts. Congratulations on your achievement. We are all proud of you. Thank you.
Thank you, President Monaco. We are fortunate to have a board of advisors made up of talented and committed individuals who care about our students, our patients, and our school. Many of them are watching today. Welcome and thank you for your contributions to Cummings School. It is my privilege now to bring you greetings from Dr. Bonnie Smith, President of the Massachusetts Veterinary Medical Association. The MVMA has been a tremendous partner for us in the last year, as always, with its members coming forward to provide externships in a very difficult year for all of us.
Congratulations for myself and the Massachusetts Veterinary Medical Association. Never did I consider that I'd be speaking to you as the president of your local state association. I was in your position once. As an introduction, my name is Dr. Bonnie Smith, and I graduated from this veterinary school 28 years ago in 1993. I had financed my entire education and amounted a sizable student debt. So upon graduation, I already had a job, my large animal job lined up in Charlton, and I couldn't wait to get paid. I've had my share of contracts, non-compete clauses, good cases, difficult cases, and difficult clients. There were times when I felt alone, and there were times that I wasn't. For years on and off, the Tufts faculty and staff was always there to answer my questions whenever I needed help. Questions were always there, answers were always there, but one thing that was hard to learn after I graduated was to trust my intuition. It felt uncertain at times to go right into clinical veterinary medicine. When I felt that the horse in front of me looked like it had EPM, I didn't trust it. When the wound in front of me looked too big to heal by second intention, I didn't trust it. It took me about 2 years to learn to trust myself, knowing that somewhere in my education was an answer. I just didn't know where. Joining my local and national veterinary associations was something I brought with me from my previous career as a respiratory therapist. Members from my family also taught me the same thing. It was a few years after I graduated from Tufts that I became active in the MVMA. On the budget that I had, I couldn't afford to go to large venues, so I went to the MVMA and local state associations to start meeting people And not only did I get great CE, I met some fantastic people. So hopefully I'll get to meet you one day in a boardroom, in a meeting, or maybe at a brewery. So I have a couple of pieces of wisdom to pass on to you. One, financially, pay those high student loans off first, those high interest rate ones. Second, you might want to consolidate them very soon, even this year with the low interest rate. Took years for my husband and I to be able to buy a home. He worked at the Peabody Pavilion when I was a student here. So you can imagine how much PB&J and spaghetti we lived on. We've come a long way since then, and I know you will too. You will be leaders in our field. And once you achieve this position as a graduate, you'll know that you can do anything. When you surround yourself with your family and friends who want to help you, there isn't anything you can't achieve. Some other personal wisdom that came from my mother-in-law, and she was about 80. She told me that you can have everything you want, you just can't have it all at the same time. And she was right. She's now 100. I've had 2 careers. I have a phenomenal husband. I have family, friends, farms, horses, stepsons, sons that are doing phenomenal things. And I know you will too. I'm even speaking to you as your president during a pandemic. Who would have ever guessed? One of you will be in this role one day, and then you'll remember what I just told you. Anyway, you've made it, given all the odds. Congratulations to everybody who's graduated from Tufts this year. Be proud of what you've achieved. Carry that with you forever. Let this moment give you the strength to approach everything else in front of you. Hold on to your passions. Congratulations, class of 2021. You did it.
Thank you, Dr. Smith. I would now like to recognize the presidents of the New England Veterinary Medical Associations, many of whom are watching today. Dr. Casey Cole from Maine, Dr. Kimberly McCure-Brinton from Connecticut, Dr. Lauren Schnesky from Vermont, Dr. Ann Schwartz from Rhode Island, Dr. Bonnie Smith from Massachusetts, and Executive Director of the MVMA, Jamie Falzone, Dr. April Treat from New Hampshire, and our very own Dr. Mary Lobato, President of the New England Veterinary Medical Association. I would also like to recognize Dr. Richard Heller, Chair of the Veterinary Scholarship Trust in New England, or VStone as we commonly call it. VStone has provided much needed scholarships to veterinary students from New England since 1958. Over the last 5 years, they have provided over $1.5 million in scholarships to students from New England. This includes $5,000 awards to 5 graduating DVMs from New England this year. Dr. Heller sends his congratulations to the whole class. Now, our graduates would not be here today if it were not for the family and friends who supported them, the loved ones, the significant others, spouses, partners, the children who have supported and made sacrifices while they went to school, the dogs, cats, horses, and all those other creatures, great and small, who kept you company while you studied. Welcome and thank you to all those who helped make it possible for our students to accomplish all that they have. Graduates, this is your chance. Stand, turn and face the camera at the back, and show your appreciation for all the loved ones. Turn around and give them a big wave. And finally, welcome and thank you to all of our faculty and staff who have taught you, mentored you, and supported you through your program. It is a great privilege to have been able to share what we know with you and to help prepare you for your future careers. It has been an exceptional journey for the B21s. It's been a pleasure to serve as their dean for the last 2 years of the program. And to you, you have been tremendous in navigating such a challenging year. I want to thank you personally for working with us, for being flexible, for being committed, for being responsible, for being you. I know that others will speak more to the uniqueness of this year, so let me turn instead to the larger picture, to the reason that you came here in the first place, to become veterinarians. For some of you, it was a lifelong dream. For others, you may have come to the realization of what veterinary medicine has to offer later in your life. It is an incredibly versatile degree. While here, you have learned the veterinary sciences, basic and applied. You've developed diagnostic and clinical reasoning skills. You can develop and execute a therapeutic plan. You have the ability to identify, the capability to solve, and the skills to execute. You are a professional. Your DVM degree is a springboard to a career and a life. You have an unmatched skill set that can be applied in many ways and in many different situations. You are never going to stop learning, and it's that continual learning and growth that will take you where you want to go next, whether it's running your own practice, becoming a specialist, pursuing a career in wildlife, or finding your niche in government, industry, public health, or academia. I hope you have realized how extraordinary a veterinary degree can be. It will open many doors for you. Reflect on the effort you've put in to get here, but also appreciate what you have now and where it can take you. I would like to recognize 4 people who helped you get to where you are today. They are only 4 of our many professors and teachers, but they represent the best of who we can be. I'm going to start with the Henry Ill Childers DVM Award that's awarded this year to Dr. Karina Beal. This award is given in recognition and with gratitude for sustained and extraordinary contributions to the education of Cummings School veterinary students by a part-time instructor. Dr. Childers has been a friend and supporter of Cummings School since the very beginning. A private practitioner, Dr. Childers donated his time directing the first-year problem-based learning curriculum for many years. This award recognizes both Dr. Childers' contributions and those who have followed his example. Dr. Childers will be very pleased with our choice this year. Dr. Karina Beal, a 2009 Cummings School graduate. Dr. Beal is the Assistant Director for Tufts Surgical and Interventional Research Laboratories on the Tufts Boston campus. In that role, she provides daily veterinary care for laboratory animals, oversees the surgical research lab, and develops appropriate animal models for research. She has demonstrated her commitment to the school and our students by teaching surgical wet labs and didactic lectures for the 2nd and 3rd year DVM students who are also enrolled in the master's program in laboratory animal medicine. She exemplifies excellence in laboratory animal medicine, and her background in teaching skills have provided students with valuable learning experiences. Karina is an active mentor to our students, and she demonstrates the value of mentorship by engaging with them. It gives me great pleasure to present the Henry E. Childers DVM Award for 2021 to Dr. Karina Beal. Dr. Beal, please come forward to accept the award. Congratulations, Dr. Beal. It is now my privilege to present the Artemis Award for Clinical Excellence to Dr. Jennifer Grady. The Laszlo N. Tober Family Foundation established this award at the Cummings School to recognize excellence in clinical practice. Faculty are nominated for this award by their peers and are selected based on their exemplary patient care, client communication skills, service, and professionalism. Dr. Grady is an assistant clinical professor. She earned her BA at Kenyon College and her DVM here at Cummings School in 2012. She is now a clinician and teacher at Tufts Tech Community Veterinary Clinic in Worcester, Massachusetts. She enjoys teaching while providing access to medical care for underserved pet owner populations. Her colleagues attest to her compassionate attention to both her patients and her clients. Her students profess to her skills as a teacher. As one of our students said, she coaches us on how to discuss everything from preventive care to complex chronic illnesses to end of life. For her clinical skills and dedication to client and patient needs, Dr. Grady is a truly deserving recipient of the 2021 Artemis Award for Clinical Excellence. She is an inspiring clinical educator and an excellent role model and mentor to our students. Congratulations, Dr. Grady. Please come forward to accept the award. Oh, there you are over there. You sat on the wrong side. You come over here. You're sitting over there. The next award is the Zoetis Distinguished Veterinary Teacher Award. It is with great pleasure that I now present the Zoetis Distinguished Veterinary Teacher Award to Dr. Chris Schonhoff. This award recognizes outstanding instructors who, through their ability, dedication, character, and leadership, contribute to the advancement of the profession. Students and faculty nominate faculty for this prize. Dr. Schonhoff is an assistant professor in the Department of Biomedical Sciences. He earned his bachelor's degree at Boston College and his PhD at UMass Medical School in the Department of Biochemistry and Molecular Biology. Chris is a key faculty member in the first-year curriculum, teaching veterinary biochemistry, organ system structure and function, and problem-based learning. Students appreciate his ability to ease their transition to veterinary school with his ability to explain difficult concepts using an interactive teaching style. As one student told us, Dr. Schonhoff was an integral part of any successes I had during my first year of vet school. He went out of his way to be available and to explain difficult topics as often as needed. Another remark that his passion for the subjects he teaches is contagious. He quickly became my favorite professor right from the start. Dr. Schonhoff's teaching talents and his dedication to our students make him an excellent choice for this award. I am delighted to present the 2021 Zoetis Distinguished Veterinary Teacher Award to Dr. Chris Schonhoff. Congratulations, Dr. Schonhoff. Please come forward. Go that way. You can make up for Jenny coming from this side and fooling me. Okay, mask on, mask off. There we go. Zoetis Award for Veterinary Research Excellence. Our ability to teach research is dependent on the engagement of our faculty in research as well. We must create, curate, critique, innovate, interpret, disseminate, and apply research. In short, to teach, we must be engaged in research, and we are. The Zoetis Award for Veterinary Research Excellence recognizes outstanding research effort in any field of research by a Cummings faculty member. A group of faculty peers selects a recipient from those nominated based on productivity and innovative approaches to problem solving. This year's recipient, Dr. Gillian Beamer, is an expert in host pathogen interactions during infection with Mycobacterium tuberculosis, the pathogen that causes TB. Dr. Beamer is an assistant professor in the Department of Infectious Disease and Global Health. She earned her bachelor's and VMD degrees at the University of Pennsylvania and completed both her PhD and veterinary anatomic pathology residency at The Ohio State University. In addition to her research, Gillian contributes to the Diagnostic Pathology Service and has a special interest in ophthalmic pathology. Dr. Beamer's goal is to translate knowledge from animal models of tuberculosis to improve human lives. As a board-certified pathologist, she has a special interest in the granuloma and its structure-function relationship. Dr. Beamer brings her passion, training, and expertise to her research. Dr. Beamer is truly deserving of this award, and I'm very pleased to present her with the 2021 Zoetis Award for Veterinary Research Excellence. Dr. Beamer. Now, at the request of her classmates, I am pleased to call on Tatyana Kalani of the DVM class of 2021 to share her thoughts. Tatyana earned her Bachelor of Science in Wildlife, Fish, and Conservation Biology at the University of California, Davis in 2016. Prior to entering veterinary school, she completed a Master of Science in Conservation Medicine here at Tufts. Tatyana served as co-president of her DVM class, as well as various club leadership roles surrounding wildlife and One Health. She was also a part of the combined DVM MPH program, and today is being awarded the Master of Public Health degree along with her DVM degree. Following graduation, Tatyana will be completing an internship in wildlife and conservation medicine at the Tufts Wildlife Clinic, continuing her passion to study the interface of human, animal, and environmental health. Tatyana.
I'm not this tall. Okay. Thank you, Dean Cribb, and thanks everyone for being here, both physically and virtually. It is an honor to be speaking today on behalf of the Tufts Cummings School of Veterinary Medicine's class of 2021. I've thought a lot about this day, and I'm going to try not to cry during this speech, since I was a little kid, like many of us here today. It's the day where students become doctors, and classmates and teachers become colleagues. But many years ago, my father told me in one of his many inspirational talks that it's not just about achieving the goal, it's about the journey you take to get there. Our journey through these exciting, though challenging, frustrating, tiring, but also educating and joyful years together began on August 21st, 2017. TVOP, or the Tufts Veterinary Orientation Program, was in full swing. Mostly introverted first years were thrust into both physical and mental exercises built around teamwork, communication, and social awareness. This, of course, was back when we could physically interact with one another within 6 feet and didn't have to wear these pesky masks. Our first year was filled with way too much information about histology, biochemistry, physiology, but there was nothing more time-consuming than worrying about Kumar's infamous head exam before the first anatomy practical even happened. We somehow survived first year, saying goodbye to basic science and hello to pathophysiology. It felt like practically every organ system got their own course, to the point that we had an exam every Friday, and that was just the norm. Third year came, and we were challenged to start thinking like doctors, so that come clinics, we would be prepared. But alas, no one could have prepared us for what our clinical year actually was. We left our white coat ceremony bright-eyed and bushy-tailed like the pets we thought we would see in the hospital the following week. But instead, we spent the first 11 weeks of clinics at home, on Zoom and Canvas, while feeling the weight of the world around us every moment of every day. We didn't know when we would go back to clinics, how it would be when we did, if we would graduate on time, thankfully we did, and if we would be good doctors when we did, because vet students are really good at worrying. But the class of 2021 is resilient. Amidst a global pandemic, social justice issues, concerns for the health and safety of our family and friends, we stepped into the hospital in June, ready to take in all the knowledge we could in less than a year. Through the occasional quarantines, externship cancellations, more than occasional ER closures and diversions, we made it here today to celebrate the accomplishments of our last 4 years. But we didn't spend the entire 4 years in class. We participated in and led clubs, had paint nights, competed in Vet Olympics, danced at furball, traveled abroad, made vet school song parodies, and so much more. One of the most valuable things that I took away from our first day on this journey together was who my classmates were, both within and outside of veterinary medicine. We are compassionate, we are kind, we are intelligent, we are scientists, we are, of course, animal lovers, we are athletes, we are musicians, we are writers, creators, artists, photographers, conservationists, builders, activists, leaders, and while we are many more things, today we are also now doctors. I couldn't have asked for better people to take this journey with me and become my colleagues. Though it may not feel like it at times, I know that the class of 2021 is leaving Tufts with the power and the knowledge to become lifelong learners in veterinary medicine. I know that we are ready for this world. The question is this world ready for us? Congrats, class of 2021. I love you all so much.
Thank you very much, Tatyana. I'd like now to invite Harris Fitzgerald and Tiana Rangji to present the class gift.
Congratulations to us, class of 2021. We are Tiana and Harris, the representatives of the class of 2021 Legacy Gift. Along with our other awesome classmates, Katya, MK, and Gabby, we are excited to present the Legacy Gift to the university and the school. The goal of our class gift campaign was to reach 21% class giving participation in honor of our graduation year.
The money raised was used as a fundraiser for toys, enrichment activities, and the other necessities for the newly renovated cat ward at the Henry and Lewis Foster Hospital for Small Animals. Together, we raised $495 with 24% participation. These donations will make a huge difference for our feline friends while they're in our care. Thank you, class of 2021, and also to Dean Cribb for his personal match. Congrats again to us. We did it!
Thank you very much. The school really appreciates the generosity of the class of 2021, and the support of our alumni is always critical to our ongoing success. But let's move to why we're here. I would now like to present the DVM and dual degrees to the V21 class. In addition, students who have received the Honor Civicus Award for community service and civic engagement, students who have received the Certificate in International Veterinary Medicine, and students who have received other awards will be identified. We're doing this today because we were not able to host our usual awards ceremony. This year, the hooding of each graduate will be performed by Dr. Emily McCobb and Dr. Stefano Pizzarani, both associate professors in our Department of Clinical Sciences. So we'll go ahead and we'll start with the first row. The first row can come up here and congregate to the right, and I will read your names for those of you who are watching. They're going to come up. They'll be hooded here to the right. They'll cross in front. They'll receive their degree, and then they'll exit stage left and get their photographs taken. Zoe Lynn Albee. Zoe also receives Honor Civicus Award and the Clinical Excellence in Anesthesia. Rachel Elizabeth Elliott Hart. Rachel also receives the Master of Science in Laboratory Animal Medicine and Cummings Laboratory Medicine Award. Jennifer Anderley. Riley Kathleen Raskoff Aronson. Riley also receives the International Veterinary Medicine Postgraduate Certificate, DVM with Thesis, Honor Certificate, the Ophthalmology Award, and the Sheila Moffat International Veterinary Medicine Award. Andrea Marie Azafefa. Andrea also receives the Amelia Peabody Livestock Proficiency Award. Anna Bentley. Samantha Boehner. Unable to join us today is Lionel Bigaman Garnica, who will also receive the DVM degree. Olivia Bolus. Sarah Alyssa Bratton. Sarah also receives the Master in Public Health and the International Veterinary Medicine Postgraduate Certificate. Abby L. Griesbau. Margarita M. Brown. William Harrison Breyer. Unable to join us today, Kendall Marie Carlin is also receiving DVM degree, International Veterinary Medicine Postgraduate Certificate, and the Lane Arthur Wildlife Award. Cameron Reed Carroll. Cameron is also receiving his Master of Public Health, the International Veterinary Medicine Postgraduate Certificate, and the Sylvia Mainzer Public Health Achievement Award. Kelly Ann Chambers. Kelly Ann is a member of the Phi Theta Honor Society, graduating in DVM with thesis and receiving an Academic Achievement Award. Katie Clark. Katie is also receiving the Martin Simensen DVM Equine Award and the American College of Veterinary Surgery Award. Olivia Court. Ashley Curran. Ashley is also a member of the Phi Theta Honor Society. Mariah Kimberly Jean Dennis. Nicole Lynn Desmond. Nicole is also receiving the Master of Public Health. Leah Catherine DeTola. Leah is receiving the E&S Windsor Scholarship sponsored by V-Stone. Sasha Regina Denito. Delaney Nicole Douglas. Delaney is also a member of the Phi Zeta Honor Society and is receiving an Academic Achievement Award. Rebecca Michelle Dreisen. Rebecca is also a member of Phi Zeta, receiving an Academic Achievement Award and the ACVIM Certificate of Clinical Excellence in Small Animal Medicine Cardiology. Allison Elizabeth Drummond. Allison is also a Phi Zeta Honor Society member and is receiving an Academic Achievement Award. Asher Feldman. Asia R. Fazio. Rachel Elisa Figueroa. Harris Taylor Fitzgerald. Harris is also receiving the American Academy of Veterinary Dermatology Award. Ryan N. Flannery. Brian is also a member of the Phi Zeta Honor Society and is receiving the Frank Zach DVM Food Animal Award sponsored by Vistro. Sarah Flick. Sarah is also receiving the American Animal Hospital Association Award for Proficiency in Primary Care. Gabrielle Stavina Fonts. Gabrielle is graduating with a DVM with thesis and is receiving the American Association of Feline Practitioners Award and the Eyes Family Award. Margaret Elizabeth Gallagher. Jessica Camara G. Jessica is also a member of the Phi Zeta Honor Society. Ruth L. Gertz. Ruth is also receiving the Cummings School Large Animal Ultrasound Award. Evan Fitzgerald Griffith. Evan is graduating with a DVM with thesis. He's receiving a Master of Public Health, the International Veterinary Medicine Postgraduate Certificate, and the Sheila Moffat International Veterinary Medicine Award. Elliot Grossman. Elliot is graduating with DVM with thesis. He's receiving the International Veterinary Medicine Postgraduate Certificate and is a member of the Phi Zeta Honor Society and receiving an Academic Achievement Award. Tatyana Nazia Henry. Tatyana is also graduating with the International Veterinary Medicine Postgraduate Certificate. Aaron Horn. Aaron is also receiving the American College of Veterinary Pathology Award for Excellence in Anatomic Pathology. Jiaming Huang. Jiaming is a member of the Phi Zeta Honor Society and is receiving the American College of Veterinary Pathology Award for Excellence in Clinical Pathology. Angela L. Italia. Amanda Johnson. Amanda is also a member of the Phi Zeta Honor Society and is receiving the Veterinary Emergency and Critical Care Society Award. Tatyana John Kalani. Tatyana is also receiving the Master of Public Health, graduating the DVM with thesis, receiving the Craig Mabry V83 Leadership Award and the Sylvia Mainzer Public Health Achievement Award. Nicholas Camino. Gregory Kidd. Kelly Lynn Kilpatrick. Hannah Kim. Hannah is also a member of the Phi Zeta Honor Society. Cambry Catherine Knapp. Cambry is also receiving the International Veterinary Medicine Postgraduate Certificate. Elizabeth Laquadera. Daniela Lopez Goicochea. Daniela is also receiving the Master of Public Health, is a member of the Phi Zeta Honor Society, receiving the Honest Civicus Award and an Academic Achievement Award. Saraya Loretta. Brendan August Lynch. Brendan is also a member of the Honest Civica Society. Katja May McCall. Katya is also a member of the Honest Civica Society. Caitlin Frost McHugh. Lucianne Holden Megan. Lucianne is also receiving the Zoological Companion Animal Medicine Award. Benjamin Miranda. Kaylin Rose Moran. Kayleen is also receiving the Master of Science in Laboratory Animal Medicine. Kendra Elizabeth Nowak. Kendra is also a member of the Phi Zeta Honor Society. Catherine Ann Olson. Catherine is also receiving the Veterinary Cancer Society Award. Amanda Oppold. Mary Kate Catherine O'Toole. Annabella Palapoli. Annabella is also receiving the International Veterinary Medicine Postgraduate Certificate, an Academic Achievement Award, and is a member of the Phi Zeta Honor Society. Nicole M. Patton. Olivia P. Abby Mary Petronzio. Kayla Denera Prentice. Kayla is also receiving the ACVM Certificate of Clinical Excellence in Small Animal Internal Medicine. Rachel D. Prestigiacomo. Rachel is a member of the Phi Zeta Honor Society, is receiving the Honus Civicus Award, receives the ACVM Certificate of Excellence in Large Animal Internal Medicine and the Richard J. Sheehan DVM Equine Award. She also receives the Irma Barron Humanitarian Award and an Academic Achievement Award. Amelia Reagan. Diana Rangi. Vishwa Razanya. Vishwa is also a member of the Honest Civicus Society. Catherine Aisha Rasp. Sarah Michelle Ray. Joseph Richard Ray. Joseph also receives the Master of Public Health and is a member of the Honest Civicus Society. Taylor Hope Reel. Taylor is a member of the Phi Zeta Honor Society and also receives an Academic Achievement Award. Rebecca Elizabeth Rush. Curtis Gary Reingold. Curtis also receives the Master of Science in Laboratory Animal Medicine, the American College of Veterinary Surgery Small Animal Award, and is a member of the Phi Zeta Honor Society. Jennifer Lynn Seja. Megan Elise Salgaro. Sasha Lee Santiago. Lauren Eileen Scanlon. Lauren also receives the International Veterinary Medicine Postgraduate Certificate. Nicole Elizabeth Scott. Nicole is also a member of the Phi Zeta Honor Society. Lena Marie Seegers. J. Aaron Scheinsock. Christina Bonnie Schunk. Britton David Shorter. Britton is also a member of the Phi Zeta Honor Society and receives an Academic Achievement Award. Kimberly Stein. Unable to be with us today, but also receiving a DVM degree, Kaya Josette Storch. Rafaela Christina Suzara. Courtney Canaday Toller. Edward Jason Une. Jason also receives the Merck Animal Health Veterinary Student Innovation Award. Sarah Ann Wilson. Sarah also receives the Phi Zeta Honor Society. Sarah Ann Wilder-Checkley. Sarah is granted the DVM with thesis and is also a member of the Phi Zeta Honor Society. Samantha Yao. Samantha is also a member of the Phi Zeta Honor Society and receives the Dr. George P. Fadul Award. Unable to be with us today, but also receiving her DVM degree, Natasha Ye. Hayden Aubrey Zinchuk. And Hayden also receives the Dr. 4-Foot, Dr. 2-Foot scholarship. And let's have a big round of applause to Dr. McCobb and Dr. Pizzarani. They paid very, very close attention to that pudding. Okay, we'll just wait for her to get back, Faye to get back to her seat. We're gonna get everybody to stand. Your tassel should be on the right now. Everybody stand, and then you'll move your tassel to the left to signify that you have now had your degrees conferred. Go ahead, tassels right to left. I proudly present to you the class of 2021. Please be seated. It is my pleasure to introduce Dr. John Berg, who's been selected by the DVM class to give the faculty address. Dr. Berg is a professor of clinical sciences. He earned his bachelor's and DVM degrees at Colorado State University and is a board-certified small animal surgeon. Although he is adept at all types of surgery, he is especially drawn to surgical treatment of cancer in animals because it requires creativity and skill in every area of the body. Although he teaches in several courses, John finds hands-on instruction with fourth-year students particularly gratifying, and he enjoys watching them grow in confidence as they make supervised clinical decisions. Dr. Berg.
Thank you, Dean Cribb, and welcome to the families and friends of today's graduates, especially those of you who are joining online, which I assume is all of you. I want to thank, most importantly, the class of 2021. Congratulations and thank you. You guys did an outstanding job in fourth year. It was a very unusual and unique year, and we needed you very much to help us keep the hospitals open and treating our animals and helping our owners. So we really deeply appreciate that, and thank you very much. It is commencement season, and last weekend my wife Gail and I were out in Amherst for our daughter's graduation, and I was talking to another one of the parents there, and she told me that she had a daughter, after I told her I was a veterinarian, that she had a daughter who wanted to be a vet but who was 16. Which is pretty amazing. And then she told me that her daughter actually wanted to be a veterinarian since she was 6 years old. And not only that, she wanted to go to Tufts, although because she was 6 years old, she couldn't say Tufts, so she called it Yufts. I want to go to Yufts. So I think the school is in very good shape if we have sort of that demographic of people wanting to come here. So I think probably in most of your minds, the question that's weighing on you most right now, if any question is weighing on you right now, is, will I be able to diagnose anything? And I can tell you, we all share that concern, and we all... That's really not how I meant that. We share your concern, and I should point out that all of us who are veterinarians here on the faculty turned out okay, and you probably will too. The challenge for you is that you've absorbed a tremendous amount of information during the past 4 years, but you're only human, and there was no way that you could absorb all of that information. And it has to be that way for veterinarians because we can do so many things and we can treat so many species that our education is necessarily quite broad. And you're probably aware that some of you may have learned some things that will be absolutely of no use to you whatsoever. And I experienced that when I was a surgery resident at Colorado State. All the residents were invited down to a human hospital in Denver to observe human surgery. And after I was there for about 3 days, I started getting the feeling that all the citizens of Denver had bunions, because it seemed like I was seeing nothing but bunions. So I worked up my courage and I went over to the chief of the service, Dr. Winter, and I asked him, Dr. Winter, do you think it's possible that I'll see anything other than bunions this week? And he said, I don't think so, son, you're on the bunion service. So I tried to react the correct way. I undertook it to learn everything I could about bunions when I was there. So I read about bunions, at night, thinking that someday information about bunions would help me in my veterinary career. That did not turn out to be true. But the story leads me to my next point, which is that one of the best favors you can do for yourself in the upcoming year and years is to read a little bit on every case you see, every new type of case you see, every new drug you use, every new test you run. Because it's amazing how well information will stick when you're reading it in the context of an actual patient. And also, the diseases that you see frequently will be the diseases you read about the most and become most familiar with and good at. And the diseases you see less frequently will be the ones that you know less about, but that's just your sort of basic knowledge's way of reordering itself into something that's really useful to you. So I encourage you to develop a reading habit as soon as you possibly can. Now I want to switch gears just a little bit and talk a bit about the human-animal bond. And I'm sure that all of you are aware that there's been a dramatic evolution in our profession during the past 50 years or so, both as an industry and in our medical sophistication. And that expansion was driven largely by the human-animal bond. The profession has grown the way it has because it provides services that the public demands and wants. But that, for you, creates some responsibilities to owners as well as to their animals. And you may find your responsibility to owners a bit intimidating, but the best way you can become comfortable talking to owners is simply to be yourself, and remember that the owner's focus is on the pet, not on you. So just be as natural as you possibly can be, and you'll find that most owners are salt of the earth and are very easy to work with. As long as they see that you are trying and really wanting to help, they'll be happy with what you do. Ironically, though, vets were a little slow to appreciate the strength of the human-animal bond. And we should always all recognize that it's really the primary driver behind phenomena like excellent general practices with a network of specialty practices that they can refer to, the availability of advanced imaging technique, and the explosion of research in every discipline. However, speaking of research, I do want to say that I have a little resentment of the typical stereotype that surrounds veterinary surgeons as people with low IQs and big egos. Don't laugh. So I experienced this myself when I was an intern at Cornell. I was taking care of an older cat owned by an older lady. The cat had multiple problems and was geriatric, and the owner was getting to the point where she was thinking about euthanasia. So one day she asked me a question that I thought was a little odd. She asked if we had a priest in the hospital, and I didn't know what she meant, so I went to one of our internists later in the day, and I said, what do you think she meant? Do we have a priest in the hospital? And the internist replied, well, we don't have a priest in the hospital, but we do have surgeons who think they're God. So lastly, I'd like to offer you a few bits of advice. These are things that may help you in your personal lives and in your professional lives. They're nothing earth-shaking, but things that I think might help. So in your personal life, don't take for granted the people who love you, many of whom are watching us today on the internet. Strive to find something you like and respect in everyone you meet. Strive for work-life balance, and take good care of your physical and your emotional health. In your professional lives, strive for excellence, but not perfection. remember that many difficult owners can benefit from a gentle reminder from you that you and they are on the same team, not different teams. Never ignore the observations of an experienced technician. And remember, maybe most importantly, that you chose this profession because you knew it would be gratifying. That's why you did it. But a mistake many of us make is to forget that that's why we elected this profession. We tend to take it very hard if we lose a patient or something goes wrong, but we forget to take the gratification that's there when we have a success. So don't make that mistake. In closing, all of us here today are very proud of you. And as we send you off into our great profession, now your profession, we wish you all the best in your personal and professional lives. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Berg. There is some rain coming down, but I will talk loud, and I think we'll continue and finish off the ceremony, because we are down to that last, final, and very important step, the veterinarian's oath. So I'd like to invite all veterinarians, both in the audience and watching from home, and that all includes you, correct? Join our new graduates in reciting the oath as a symbol of the supportive and proud professional community that they have just entered. Please stand. It is in the book, but I'll say the sentence and you can repeat after me. Being admitted to the profession of veterinary medicine, I solemnly swear to use my scientific knowledge and skills for the benefit of society through the protection of animal health and welfare, the prevention and relief of animal suffering, the conservation of animal resources, the promotion of public health, and the advancement of medical knowledge. I will practice my profession conscientiously, with dignity, and in keeping with the principles of veterinary medical ethics. I accept as a lifelong obligation the continual improvement of my professional knowledge and competence. Thank you. To our audience, thank you for helping us celebrate with our graduates today. Please join me for a last moment of reflection and thanks for the achievements of our students. We hope and expect that our graduates will lead safe, productive, and caring professional lives. For the class of 2021, I will leave you with 3 quick thoughts. First, remember always to have fun and enjoy life. Secondly, listen carefully to advice such as Dr. Berg just gave you. Pay attention to what's around you, but always, always follow your heart and your passion. And third, remember to take chances. Keep your options open, have a fallback plan, but when that chance presents itself, don't be afraid to take it. We wish you the very best as the world's newest veterinarians. Congratulations and welcome to the exciting challenges that lie ahead of you. Thank you for being part of Cummings community. Be proud and stay a part of us. This concludes the 39th commencement of Cummings School of Veterinary Medicine at Tufts University.